Get ready for an unfair advantage over your competition. This is the Sales Edge podcast, where globally recognized sales expert and trainer Joe Pici helps you sharpen your skills for booking more appointments and closing more deals. And now, here's your host, Joe Pici.
Well, hey team, welcome back to The Sales Edge. This is Joe Pici, and we're excited to have you as part of our team, a growing team that's starting to get outside the borders of the United States. We're starting to really grow this podcast. We thank you for your loyalty. We thank you for coming in, tuning in, and spending time with us. You know, the whole idea and the goal of The Sales Edge is to help you. It's to help you get better. It's to help you find different areas of your business and look at how do I want to improve those areas and take what I do to the next level. We're always looking for next level. We talk about gaining an unfair advantage over your competition. You know, in a very competitive world, and we do have a competitive world, the world seems to be shrinking with technology. Everybody out there has competition. Everybody out there has to gain that advantage over their competition. So that today features a topic of niching. You know, they say the riches is in the niches. And so many times people look at the word niche as a confining word, as a word of you have to say no to so many things. And maybe I can bring some clarity to the niching and give you some ideas on how you can go forward to become a specialist, become just above average at what you do. But more than that, to have your clients recognize that. So just in a way of some definitions, we have the word niche. And I would recommend you look this up, N-I-C-H-E. One definition of the word niche is a position or function for a person occupying it. Another definition of niche is a specific area of demand for a product and or service. Another area of niching is a distinct segment of the market. Another definition of niche, a profession, business activity you are most suited for or best fitted for. And another niche word is a specialized market. So as you can see, there's different perspectives for the word niche. You know, the one that really kind of resonates to me is the profession, business, or activity you are most suited for. You're best fitted for, kind of like your fastball. You know, and don't be so fast to think you have to have it immediately. It takes time to learn your niche. It does take time. And most people, what they'll do is they'll confine themselves to a specific area right out of the gate. You know, they'll open a business and they will say, well, I'm going after this particular type of client from the beginning when they really don't know who they are in the marketplace yet. So I always like to look at niching in one of two categories. What you do, okay, what is your product? What is your service? So what exactly do you do, or who do you do it for? Under the who do you do it for, are you a B2B business, business to business? Are you a B2C, business to consumer? So there's so many ways to define, but I think if you listed those two things and say this, I want to know where I am in the marketplace. Is it more about my product or service that I'm niching? Is it a particular product or service? Okay. Is it what I offer? Or is it who I offer it to? Do I want to make my mark in the B2C market? Do I want to make my mark in the B2B market? And so these things are extremely important. You know, as Dawn and I launched Pici and Pici years ago, we realized that we were not the first to the game, of course. we realized that we wanted to stand out. We wanted to really, if we were going to play in this game, we wanted to become elite. Because if you get to a certain stature in any business, then price becomes less relevant. Market demand for you goes up, which means you can charge more, which means you deliver a very succinct product or service, or in a particularly unique area or target market. At the end of the day, you want to become, you want people to know who you are in the marketplace. You want to stand out. When I look at all of the things that Joe and Dawn Pici are known for, I have to be really, really very clear. I believe we're most known for our tactical skill mastery. Now, the niche is not who we do it for. The niche is what we do. Now, do we work with professional speakers and help them take their talent to market? Sure. Do we do conflict resolution? Sure. I mean, do we do private coaching? Sure. Do we do strategic planning with companies? Sure. But what are we known for? What do we throw heat with? What do we deliver? The best quantifiable results. That if you were to say our name, that our clients and even non-clients, people who are looking at us, following, they would say Joe and Dawn Pici are the best at tactical sales skill mastery. That's what we're known for in the market. Now, we've been working for years. And as you know, I got ranked this past year number 3 in the world by Global Gurus in sales training and speaking. And I will tell you, my wife has done a magnificent job. And just so you know, Dawn is going to be a featured guest in the next week on her prowess in her niche on helping people capture leads utilizing LinkedIn, really punching up your brand. And I will say that because she decided to niche herself in that particular product arena, it has helped the rest of our business. It's certainly helped our brand to grow internationally. It's helped so many areas. And so with that, as you decide your niche and where you want to go in the marketplace, let's answer some questions. As always, I have questions for you. And hopefully you'll have questions for me. Once again, if you have any questions, you can just email me at joe@PICIANDPICI.com. Put in the tag sales edge, and write your questions. And then put in there, do you want me to handle it on the air, or do you want to handle it privately? I want to be a resource to you. I'm always open for a cup of Joe, where you call me at 407-947-2590, and we talk a little shop. And so let's move on to the questions about niching. I have a couple questions for you. If you're driving, don't write these down. If you're not driving, write these down. If you're driving, commit them to memory. If you're jogging, commit them to memory, and then go over them. Question number 1 is, what do you do? I mean, what is it that you actually do? What is your product? What is your service? What do you do? Now, here's my second question. Is it clear to you? I worked with a client many years ago here in the Orlando area, just a magnificent guy. He has a strategic planning business. He was a former Marine. Told me never call him an ex-Marine, former Marine. And he created a mapping program, very strategic, where he goes into companies and help them create team synergy. And so it took him a long time, and I remember asking him one time, what do you do? And he struggled a little bit to communicate it with me and to me. And so years passed, and he said, Joe, he said, I've never received a referral from you. And I said, well, I really don't know what you do. He said, well, I have a hard time explaining it. And so we went to work right there. Therein was the situation where we could help him clarify his messaging, to help him take his message to market, and all of a sudden contracts began to pop for him all over the place. Now, my third question: is it clear to your client? In other words, have you conveyed a clear message to your client on what it is you do? That is so, so important. And so your clients are a great indicator of your messaging and how niched you are. Now, number 4, can you explain it concisely? If I were to sit with you over a cup of coffee, could you explain to me what you do concisely and not take the whole afternoon and not take an hour? I mean, could you explain what you do in 10 to 12 minutes without appearing to be rushed? This is what we call a piece of your core story. Developing that crystal clear clarity of messaging. You know, I have a friend, he said, Joe, you're a wordsmith. You create great messaging. I create messaging clearly because I think in terms of how is the client receiving this information. Now I will ask you this. What is your fastball? What do you do best? You know, so many times as we coach companies and individuals, what they do best is not what they do most of. They haven't decided that this is my fastball, this is what I want to take to market, this is what I'm going to lead with. And so what they do is they struggle in the other areas to really gain mastery to deliver because they don't want to leave any money on the table. You know, I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, what I do best is I teach application-based skills that people can utilize right now, in a moment. I mean, one of the things we do when we go into companies, they come to us, is we do live outbound telephone call training. I believe that is a fastball for me. We just finished with a company in Tampa, a one-day intensive with 20 people, made 300 calls, outbound cold calls, had a 68% conversion to appointment. That is a niche. That is a fastball. That is something that I can take to market and compete with, and I can win the day with that because that's something I do well. Now I have another question for you, and shifting gears, who is your target market? Now, please, all of God's children is not your target market. I mean, be very specific. Who is it that you want to go after? The second thing under that, who is your target market? Is it clearly defined for you? I mean, do you know that you know that you know at the end of the day, this target market generates highest revenues, so then you could determine how much time you sell in that market. It becomes so defined. Now, can you verbalize your target market? In other words, if I said to you, I called you up and I said, hey, Mike, this is Joe. I want to help you grow your business. I'd like to be able to refer you. I trust you. I like you. I believe that you will take care of clients well. Can you explain to me very clearly what you do for your clients? Can you do that? And once again, not make it sound like, you know, it's a all-day walk through the park and say things like, well, what I do is, or it's something like that. No, I mean clear, concise. I mean, if you say, Joe, what do you do for salespeople? We specialize in helping salespeople generate quality leads, book more appointments with decision makers, increase closing ratios. Now, that was clear. It was concise. You're not confused. Now, you may want to know how I do that, which opens up another conversation. But at the end of the day, you have a visual, a clear mindset on what Joe Pici does when it comes to working with speakers, coaches, trainers, consultants. Joe, what do you do with speakers, coaches, trainers, consultants? We specialize in helping speakers, coaches, trainers, consultants take their talent and intellectual property and increase their income. That's clear to you. You don't have to think about it. You go, wow, I got that. That was clear. He explained that in one sentence. Can you do that? Do you have the ability to be concise? Now, here's another one. Is there a particular company or industry you're better in? And that happens after a while. You're not going to have this answer today. After a while, your company starts to take a shape. You start to penetrate a market, and there's some markets you work in better than others. I mean, two of our largest verticals, industries we're working in, delivering incredible results, we really weren't working in 9 years ago. It was not part of, except for one company, it really wasn't part of what we were doing, and yet these are our two biggest verticals. This is where we're delivering incredible results. So in looking at how to begin to niche yourself, it's going to become very clear. What do I do, and who do I want to do it for? What do I do best, and where can I deliver best results? So, the whole niching process, I've seen people spend exorbitant amount of money with great companies, great marketing companies scratching their head to help this person. And I will say, before you can niche, you need to go to market and kind of play in the marketplace, because your clients will determine what you do best and who you do it for. Dawn and I are not rocket scientists. Well, she might be, but I'm not. And I will tell you that I think one of the things we've done well is we're not afraid to go and do. We were talking yesterday, we said, people probably think we're crazy. We're doing podcasting now. I'm sitting here in this closet, right? Now, someday it'll be a studio. I'm sitting in this closet. I've got this very expensive microphone, and we could have planned it, and we have people telling us what they would do, and we have people listening and being very, very cordial and saying, Joe, hey, this is what I heard. This is what I think. I listen to podcasts all the time. So we're not afraid of constructive criticism, but I'll tell you what, you can't steer a parked car. And this car ain't parked. We're going to drive it, and we're going to make mistakes, and all of a sudden what's going to happen is things begin to define themselves. When we went to market with Pici and Pici as a tactical sales training company, we said, okay, what companies need outside and outbound sales training to get better at lead generation, booking appointments, consultative presentations to close more business? We didn't know. We picked up the phone and went to work and started working in the market, and all of a sudden things begin to tighten up and niches begin to form. And so a couple questions as we begin to wrap. Are you a specialist or a general practitioner? Well, in the beginning, you can be a general practitioner, but you want to become a specialist. Ask your clients this question in the next week. What do I do best for you? And don't be afraid of the answer. What is it that I do best for you? Okay? But then ask yourself this question. Can I make a living doing what I'm doing? Can I make the kind of living I want to make doing what I'm doing? So as we wrap this up, I want you to find your fastball. And I want you to keep defining it and keep defining it. As we wrap this up, this is Joe Pici of Pici and Pici sponsoring The Sales Edge. Once again, you can contact me. All my contact information will be on the final piece here. But we're looking forward to continuing to sow value into you, help you get that competitive edge, get better. Be the best at what you do. You can take out your iPhone and text the number 55678. and then put in the tagline, Sales Edge. One word. On iPhone, it might break it up, but make it a one-word, Sales Edge. It's going to take you to a landing page. We have free download, ebooks, content for you. All you got to do is give us your contact information, and we will. Those things will go out. Also, you can share this with other people because there's links to this podcast. Hopefully, this topic, the topic of niching, and the way I've delivered it has helped you, given you some things to think about. But take this to market, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go and do as you're learning your niche, your fastball, and your best target market. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road.
Thanks for listening. New episodes will air each Tuesday and Thursday, so make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star review. The Sales Edge is sponsored by Pici and Pici Incorporated, a firm which provides training, consulting, and keynote presentations, empowering corporations and individuals to attract and retain quality clients for higher revenues and growth. Make more money in sales. Speak with Joe in person by calling 407-947-2590 or visit www.piciandpici.com. Spelled PICIAND, PICI.com.